You're listening to the Global Tales podcast, timeless stories, powerful lessons with quiz and podcast. Let's begin today.
Beneath the Bamboo, a story about honesty, friendship, and the courage to face your truth. In a quiet village near Kyoto, there was a bamboo grove the elders spoke of in hushed voices. They said if you whispered a secret into the bamboo after midnight, and with a bit to describe a Caesar, it would describe one in turn. It would whisper it back the next night. Most thought it was just a story, but Yuki and Aiko, two inseparable friends, were curious enough to find out. Are you sure this is the right place? It has to be. My grandfather said the grove listens at night, that grove bisses a secret or if you describe to may count it. The moon hung low as they crept into the grove, hearts pounding. Yuki bent down and whispered into one stalk of bamboo. I once broke my mother's cup and blamed the wind. Aiko giggled, then leaned in and whispered something, but Yuki couldn't hear what. They laughed, made a pact to return the next night, and ran home under starlight. The next night the grove was colder, still, almost, waiting. I once broke my mother's cup. Yuki froze. That was me. Then the second whisper echoed. I stole from my best friend and never told her. That wasn't real. It must be a trick. Yuki turned to her. The silence between them cracked wider than any lie. We give some wide. Aiko ran. Yuki didn't follow. The grove had spoken the truth. The next day, Aiko was nowhere to be found, and that night, Yuki returned alone. She approached the same stalk. She stole a charm I gave her, but I wasn't kind either. I mocked her drawing. I was jealous. She leaned in. I'm sorry. The wind softened. The bamboo no longer creaked. Yuki turned to leave. And there stood Aiko, eyes wide, tears on her cheeks. I came back too. I was just afraid. Me too. They hugged under the whispering grove. No more secrets between them. The bamboo grove never whispered again after that. But sometimes, if the wind is just right, you can still hear it breathe. You just heard Whispers Beneath the Bamboo, a story about honesty, friendship, and the courage to face your truth.
Really captivating story from Japan. It's called Beneath the Bamboo, A Tale of Honesty.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
And our mission really is to kind of pull out the important lessons hidden in there, especially, for you listening. The whole idea is pretty intriguing. There's this village legend, right, that says the bamboo can actually repeat secrets whispered right at midnight.
It's such a powerful setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
It immediately makes you think about truth and consequences.
Definitely.
And it's not just some cute folktale.
Yeah.
It digs deep into why telling the truth matters. We meet these two friends, Yuki and Aiko. They're best friends.
Okay.
But their friendship gets seriously tested by this legend. It's really about, courage, finding the courage to be honest.
So, okay, let's unpack this a little. The bamboo repeats secrets.
Yeah.
But what if one of those secrets is darker than expected? What happens when the forest itself kind of forces the truth out?
Exactly. That's where it gets intense. Because Yuki, in a moment of, maybe jealousy, she whispers something untrue about Aiko's family, their harvest, into the bamboo at midnight. Probably thinks nothing will come of it, just getting it off her chest to the dark.
A sort of harmless whisper in the night, she thinks.
Right. But, the legend turns out to be very real. And it's not just about repeating words. It seems like the bamboo, it amplifies the feeling behind them.
Whoa!
Yeah, so the whole village finds out.
Yeah.
And suddenly Aiko's reputation, their friendship, everything is, on the line.
So the bamboo forces this confrontation.
It does. And that's what's so insightful. It's not just saying be honest. It shows truth, almost like a force of nature, connected to nature. The bamboo becomes this truth teller. It makes Yuki face what she did, maybe in a way she wouldn't have if it was just up to her own courage, right? It changes the dynamic completely.
It really does, like an undeniable accountability. Makes you think, if we had something like that, how different would things be?
Wouldn't they just imagine? How many secrets would suddenly be out in the open?
It's not just about the magic bamboo then, is it? It's about our words, even the secret ones, and how they echo.
Precisely. The story really highlights that silence, trying to hide things, It might feel safer in the moment,
Sure.
but it often just makes things worse. It breaks trust, especially in a small community like the one in the story.
Right, where everyone knows everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So getting back to trust, fixing that bond between Yuki and Aiko, it all comes down to Yuki actually, confessing, being brave enough to own up to it.
That takes real guts.
It does. It shows that honesty isn't just like a nice idea. It's fundamental for relationships, for a community to work. It makes us think about the real cost when we're not honest.
That's a really strong takeaway. But does the story show honesty as like an easy fix? Is it always rewarded straight away? Or is it tough?
Oh, it's definitely not shown as easy.
Right.
Not at all. For Yuki, confessing means facing her own feelings, the jealousy, the harm she caused. That's hard work.
Yeah, I bet.
And for Aiko, there's the hurt of being betrayed and then figuring out forgiveness. But the beauty is, the story shows that going through that difficulty, through the truth, that's the only way to actually heal things.
So the tough path is the only path to real connection.
Pretty much. It makes the friendship and maybe even the whole village stronger and more real in the end. The story kind of holds up a mirror, asking us to look at our own choices.
And that really is what this deep dive was about. It wasn't just exploring a cool legend with talking bamboo. It was about seeing the incredible power of telling the truth and just how much courage that can take. So the big question is, what does this all mean for you?
Well, what's really great here is how it prompts us, prompts you to think about your own life. It raises this question, doesn't it? When have you found that being honest, even when it felt really hard or awkward, actually made things better? For you, or maybe for someone else? Maybe take a moment to think about that. Think about the strength you tapped into just by choosing to be truthful in that difficult moment.
That's definitely something worth reflecting on. Beneath the Bamboo really shows that honesty isn't just a nice to have, it's a powerful force, something to carry